Welcome into Chicago Bears Now, live on YouTube, live on Rumble. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Producer Jack Lotteray is riding shotgun on today's show like he normally does. We appreciate his fine work as always. Appreciate all of you lighting up the live chat already. Community man Matthew Peterson getting the FGBs going in the chat. You absolutely love to see that as well. We'll get the show started like we normally do. Let the audience build up a little bit before we get into the latest Bears news and rumors. In the meantime, shout out your city. Let us know where you guys are watching from. I want to know where Bears fans are representing from. And let's get this party started. We got Malcolm Graham in Salinas, California. Great last name. Maybe we're related, Malcolm. You just never know. Let's see. We got Medea, Pennsylvania. Broski is in Charlotte. Knoxville, Tennessee, baby, from Dylan. Philip is in Mount Prospect. We got Tampa, Florida, from Matthew. Alexandria from Chi-Town. Jameson is in Mission, Texas. Aaron in Madison, Wisconsin. Scott Osborne in Anderson, Indiana. We got Midway in Charleston. Joe is in Indianapolis. Spirit is in Oxnard, California. We got a super chat from Vibin. Let's see. Bear Down from Delaware for Bear Down Forever. Got our first super chat. We'll get to that momentarily. John is in Chicago. Tucson, Arizona. Producer Jack representing from Tucson as well. You guys are all over the map. That's what makes Bears fans so great. Vibin, sitting in $5. We'll get to all your super chats on today's show. Why do people assume the Bears are going to suck? If Justin Fields is that guy, which I believe 100% that he is, then why wouldn't we have a good season? If Fields takes the next step without adding major pieces at receiver and offensive line, then that tells you a lot of things. One, he got into the lab this offseason and worked on his craft. And two, this new coaching staff's a lot better than the old one. Those are a couple of things in store. Hashtag thanks Nagy. Name a free agent that the Bears should go out and sign. I want to hear it from you guys. Name a free agent the Bears should go sign on the open market. Still some names out there if they want to do just that. Let's see. Bear Down from Rick. Joliet from Chaos. Name a free agent you want the Bears to sign. Jarvis Landry from Troy. Juice from Vibin. We got Landry and Fisher. Eric Fisher from Philip. Julio Jones on a cheap one-year deal. Any right guard from Devin. Ain't that the truth? Let's see. Don Burr. You want to sign Don Burr? Can he block? Jarvis Landry or Will Fuller. Deborah Samuels, Will Fuller. Yo, bro, checked you out all week and liked it all. Hey, appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with us. We're going to go live on Call-In again after today's YouTube show. We'll tell you about that throughout this stream. Saul says, Julio. We got Michael saying, Bear Down, FGB. Get the FGBs pumping in the chat. Always good. Arnold Palmer, Will Fuller, Julio, T.Y. Hilton, my cousin Quentin Spain. That's your cousin, Matt? Hit him up. Tell him to slide in my DMs at HGram NFL. We'll talk. We'll try to get him to Chicago. Who you got? Who's the Bears' best draft pick this year? Who is your favorite one? Who's the best one, I should say? Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Velus Jones. Was it one of those folks? Let's know. You said yes, sir, Matt? Hey, for real, at HGram NFL, slide in the DMs on Instagram. I'm down to reach out. Always down to talk it up with you guys. Let's see. Brisker from Tim. FGB from Brandon. Phillips says Kyler Gordon. Vibin says Brisker. Braxton Jones is my dark horse starting left tackle. Perhaps. Maybe. I think he has a chance to be decent, I think. Velus Jones Jr. from Chris. Gordon and Brisker from Troy. Brisker's a beast. Treston Ebner, I think he could be a sleeper. Elijah Hicks. We got Brisker from Vibin, Gordon from Lil Mano, FGB from Aaron as well, Jaquan Brisker from Broski Bear. Hey, we've been telling you guys about the Call-In app for the last week or so, and we're going to go live for episode number 2 on Callin. Callin is an audio social podcasting app. It's basically Twitter Spaces on steroids. That's the best way I can describe it. Go check it out, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. That is the link to go subscribe to Callin. We'll get a link in the live chat for you guys. Also, we already have our rooms scheduled. That's what they call it on Callin, rooms, where you guys hop in the rooms and get in the caller queue and ask me whatever questions. I answer questions for like an hour and a half during the draft on Saturday. I had a blast. We'll do a 30 or 45-minute show after our YouTube stream today, so be sure to join us over there. Matthew Peterson getting the link in the live chat for you guys. I want to continue to grow over there. My goal is by football season to be doing live post-game shows because I want to get your interactions right after these games, but we're going to do it all offseason long as well, including today, right after today's stream. All right, Don Burr with the super chat. Detroit best draft in the North, Bears the worst. I disagree that the Bears had the worst. I actually think all the NFC North teams did pretty well, though. We'll see if Detroit can develop any of those players. They have a great track record of developing players. That's what I hear. Jeff Okudah, anybody? He's worked out pretty well. Are you excited for Velus Jones Jr.? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Get some shout-outs going. This is also the live poll question. 83% say that you do like the Velus Jones Jr. draft pick. 17% say you don't. It's growing on me more and more. The more I read, the more I watch of this kid. I shouldn't call him a kid. He's 24, got to be 25 this year. He's going to be an old rookie. But I think that's okay. Graham says yes. Chris says yes. Greedy, yes. Aaron, yes. Levante says yes. Scott Osborne says yes. Chris says yes. Michael, Wesley, Jonathan in the chat saying yes. You from Shaq, is that undecided? Guess we'll see. Lil Mano says, shout my music out. There you go. I don't know your music, Lil Mano, but there you go. Bear Down Forever says yes, so does Vibin. All right, if you love the Bears, like this video. We'll get this party started momentarily here on YouTube, live on Rumble as well. Hit that thumbs up icon if you love the Bears. We got 300 people watching live. Let's cross 100 likes, and then we can get into the bulk of today's show. Let me know what you've liked it, and then we will get into this. Someone says, Bear, yeah, from Michael. That's good stuff. Less than 50 to go. Like the video. Bob has liked it. Richard, that comment couldn't get through, but I'm still laughing. Brian says, yes. Yes, sir. We on Rumble afterwards. No, we're going to Callin after the show today. Callin is where we're going after YouTube today, so that is going to be the move. 5 likes away from 100, and then we will get this thing rolling here on YouTube and on Rumble. All right, coming up on Chicago Bears now, we've got the latest news and rumors around the Chicago Bears post-NFL Draft edition. Couple of mailbags, hashtag Bears or Super Chat. Get your questions loaded up in the live chat. That way producer Jack is able to find all of your questions and that way I can answer them as well. Mel Kiper released his draft grades for all 32 NFL teams, including for the Bears. So we will take a look at what he thinks how Ryan Poles did. All right, all that and more is coming up here on Chicago Bears Now. Welcome in to Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham, your host, as always, here on this channel. We've got some Bears news and rumors post-NFL Draft edition to break down and to get into on today's show. So let's go ahead and jump on in. The Velus Jones pick certainly caught a lot of attention during the NFL Draft, and some draft analysts didn't love the value in the third round. You know who did? Todd McShay of ESPN. He was one that actually really liked it. He liked it so much, he thought it was the Bears' best draft pick. Several analysts had Jones as a 4th round or a 5th round grade in this draft. The Bears, of course, took him 71st overall in the 3rd round. And I'll be honest, when it first happened, I was a little caught off guard. He wasn't on my radar in round 3. But the more I read, the more you heard, you listened to Ryan Poles say that, hey, me and Justin Fields watched tape on a lot of players, and he was one of the players that caught our attention, the more I've started to like it. Here's what Todd McShay had to say on Velus Jones Jr. Quote, he's still refining his route running, but look at his speed and contact balance. He's a threat anytime the ball is in his hands with instinct instincts and elusiveness in the open field, and the breakaway speed to take the top off a defense. Jones 4.31 40, ranked 4th among all participants at the Combine and 2nd among receivers, and he's built like a running back. McShay continued by saying Chicago can get the ball in his hands on quick slants, let him pick up extra yards. They can target him on deep shots. They can get him involved on sweeps, and they can use him in the return game where he averaged 24.4 yards per kickoff and 15.1 yards per punt return during his college career. This pick is really growing on me the more I read about it and the more I hear talk about this player. I feel stupid for not having him on my radar before. I thought he was just kind of some deep day 3 sleeper type, but that was not the case. What I really liked was him stepping up as a receiver this past year at Tennessee. He's been a good return man his entire career, but this past year he put it all together as a receiver. Still learning, still improving as a route runner, but 13 yards a catch, over 800 yards, 7 touchdowns as a receiver. He showed enough promise in that area that I think this is going to be more than a special teams player for the Chicago Bears, and that's why this pick is absolutely growing on me. Are you excited for Velus Jones Jr.? If you are, type Y for yes. If you're not, if you think it was a bad pick, type in for no. You're entitled to your opinion, as I am as well. Could you have maybe gotten him in the 4th? Yes. Hey, maybe, but also Bears didn't have a 4th-round pick, so they decided to take a player they really liked in round number 3. Y for yes or in for no. His name, Ryan Poles. Now, Ryan Poles didn't set the expectation that Velus Jones will be the next Debo. He more meant stylistically. They'll bring him out of the backfield. Jet sweeps, toss plays, quick passes, deep shots. Debo does a little bit of everything for San Francisco. I think they want to utilize him in that way in this offense, plus have him be their returner as well, where he excelled both at Tennessee and at the University of Southern Cal before that as well, where he was all Pac-12 as a returner before transferring to USC. 2 career kickoff returns for touchdowns, excellent average. No punt return touchdowns, but over 15 yards a punt return is an outrageous number. I think at worst he's going to be an excellent return man from day one, but I think it's pretty clear the Bears have a plan for Jones. When they studied this guy, they said, okay, if we get him, this is how we're going to use him. He'll be our returner. We'll use him out of the backfield. We'll throw quick passes to him. He'll run some go balls for us as well. I think the Bears have a plan in place for this kid, and as long as they utilize him to his strengths, I think he's going to be an impact player from day one. Now, make sure you guys are following us on the Call-In app. We partnered up with Call-In about a week ago, had our first live show during the NFL Draft. If you're watching live on YouTube, we're doing our second live show right after this episode. If you're watching later tonight, that already happened, but you can go back and listen to the recorded episode. That's what's cool about Call-In. Twitter Spaces episode disappears after you're live. Call-In, we can republish it as a podcast. Your chance to call in, it's Twitter Spaces on crack. You hop in the caller queue, I answer your questions, and we keep it moving. There's a live chat feature as well. We plan on going live every single week. So subscribe right now, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. That's chatsports.com/BearsCallin, where you guys can literally call in to me during our live shows. All right, Nate Herbig. Have you heard of him? If not, I'll tell you about him as the Eagles are set to release him. Could the Bears put out a claim for the guard? He started in 17 games over the past 2 seasons. Now, the Bears are 7th in the waiver claim order, and this came in last night that the Eagles are expected to release him as we go live. That has not officially happened. He has not officially hit waivers yet, to my knowledge. But if that goes through, could the Bears get him off waivers? I think they'd have a decent chance being 7th in the waiver claim order there. He's played pretty well when he's been called upon for Philadelphia. Last year only started 5 games, but graded out pretty well according to Pro Football Focus. 2 years ago, started 12 games. He has experience at both right guard and at left guard. Obviously, the Bears have a need at right guard. You look at 2020 on the left side of your screen, 894 snaps and 12 starts. Overall grade for PFF, 71.2. That's above average on their system. Pass and run block above average, 72 and 69. Gave up 4 sacks, which is a little high of a number. You'd like that to be a little bit better. 2021 in 5, I think it was 5 starts. Gave up 1 sack. The grades were slightly lower, but still in that average to above average range. He's a brawler at 334 pounds. Now, Ryan Poles has spoken consistently about wanting to bring in guys that are light on their feet. I don't know if Herbig is that guy. But the Eagles did pull a lot in their running game on offense, and he seemed to hold his own in that regard. And let's be honest, can the Bears be picky at this point at guard? They don't have a starting right guard. We'll take a look at the depth chart in just a moment. Before we do that, though, the road to 50,000 subscribers is underway. We crossed 47,000 over the weekend thanks to all of you. We're less than 2,900 subscribers from hitting 50,000. That is a monumental milestone on YouTube, and you guys have all been a part of it, so I can't thank you guys enough. And if you haven't subscribed already, I would encourage you to do so because we publish daily Bears news and rumors videos. We have weekly live streams as well. Be a part of the movement. If you love the Bears, this is the channel for you, youtube.com/BearsNow. You look at that depth chart as we talk about Nate Herbig as a possibility on the waiver wire. Guys, Dakota Dozier, you don't want him starting. You know, can any of these rookies that you drafted on day 3 start? Could a Zach Thomas be a guard? Could a Braxton Jones kick inside? Do you pick up a tackle, kick Borum inside? Maybe. J. Tyler Carter, I think, has a chance to develop. I don't know if he's ready, though. I don't want Sam Mustipher over there. You need a right guard, period. Like, the Bears need at least one starting offensive lineman more than what they have right now. You could argue, too, because I'm not convinced Larry Borum is a starting left tackle right now. Maybe he is. Maybe the Bears feel like he can hold up there, but I would feel a lot better if they upgraded at left tackle or right guard, especially right guard, because I do not like their options at that position at this point in time. So should the Bears sign Herbig? Type S for sign. Type P for pass. Let me know what you guys think on this one down in the comments. Obviously, it would just be claiming him, and his cap hit, I think, is just over $2 million, so that would not be that much money. Does Robert Griffin III, RG3, want to be a backup quarterback for the Chicago Bears? Well, just before today's live show, he hopped on Rich Eisen's show and had this to say, quote, "Going to Chicago with Justin Fields to try and help as much as I possibly can in that quarterback room would be a great situation." Now, RG3 recently ran a 4.46 in the 40-yard dash, has been training, wants to get back into the NFL, actually did a pretty good job when he was Baltimore's backup a couple of years ago behind Lamar Jackson after he had been out of the league for a bit. Last year, he stepped away, was a college football broadcaster, but he wants back in. And look, stylistically, and just with the battles RG3 went through early in his career, I think he could be a good voice, but he'd be QB3 in my opinion, and that's behind Trevor Siemian, who you paid, 2 years, $4.5 million or whatever it was to be the backup. So I don't think this is likely, but I thought I would include it since he flat out came out publicly and said, hey, I would love to be a Chicago Bear. So what do you think? Should the Bears go out and sign Robert Griffin III? Type 1 for yes, type 0 for no. Probably not, but maybe you bring him into training camp. I think you could do a lot worse. I mean, hell, Ryan Willis is the number 3 quarterback right now, and I don't think Ryan Willis is going to help a guy like Justin Fields at this point in his career. So type 1 for yes, type 0 for no. Should the Bears sign Robert Griffin III? Here's to see where you guys stack up on this one. All right, some Bears front office news, and then we'll call it a day here on our Bears News and Rumors segment. Ryan Poles has started to make changes to the front office. He's parted ways with Mark Sadowski, Chris Prescott, and Bobby Machado. Post-draft changes were expected because, for those who don't know, like assistant coaches on the Matt Nagy staff, their contracts align with Nagy. So once Nagy was out, they were all fired. However, scouts, front office guys, a lot of those contracts run through the draft, and they usually help the new regime continue to scout players for that draft. So shout out to Sadowski and those guys for sticking around and being professionals. They probably knew they were going to be without a job. Chris Emma had this note first that those 3 guys are gone. So Director of College Scouting and Sadowski, he's gone. National Scout Chris Prescott is gone. And Scouting Coordinator Bobby Machado is gone as well. Changes are coming. That's commonplace after the draft, as Ryan Poles is doing. Aaron Wilson later reported this, that the Bears have named Jeff King and Trey Kozel as co-directors of player personnel. So Ryan Poles already had some guys in mind, and now King and Kozel are a part of this staff. And like I said, this is how things work. These contracts run through the draft. It's very commonplace when a new GM gets in place. that some of the guys from the last staff stick around. It's the classy thing to do. They help scout for the next regime, and hey, it helps those guys get a job down the road because Ryan Poles will put in a good word for them. So Ryan Poles reshaping his front office as we advance to the next stage of the offseason, which, of course, Rookie Minicamp coming up May 6th through the 8th later this week. Do you trust Ryan Poles? Type T for trust, type D for don't. I like what I see so far. He's patient. He doesn't force the issue by overpaying free agents or anything like that. Type T for trust or type D for don't. Reminder for you guys to subscribe on Callin. We're going to have weekly live shows over there, and we're going to schedule those in advance. So subscribe. Once you subscribe, if you see that a room is scheduled, that's what it's called, a room, hit the notification bell, and it'll remind you on your device when we go live. Chatsports.com/BearsCallin. Join in on the fun. I'm excited to enter this new platform on a weekly basis. Do you trust Ryan Poles? Get some shout-outs here. T for trust, D for don't. The Superfan says trust. Alan says trust. Let's see. L2 says trust. Reese says trust. J-Belt says trust. James says trust. Troy, Chris, bear down. L2, the Gabe. Trust, FGB from Rick. Slam Donkey says address Olin. I don't know what happened there. I saw what CHGO released as a statement. There was an article in the Sun-Times today. All I know is what's been rumored and reported is that Olin Kreutz, in some shape or manner, physically assaulted Adam Hogue. I don't know the details. That's what's been reported. That's not from me. I'm relaying information I've read. By all accounts, Adam Hogue's a great dude. I've never met him, but I've interacted with him online a couple of times with a personal matter, and I've never met Olin Kreutz. I liked his analysis, especially on offensive line, but I don't know what happened there. So for me to say any more than that, quite frankly, would be out of bounds on my part because I just don't know the situation. Quick super chat from Dylan V, sending in $1. All super chats get on the show. We definitely appreciate it. Emiliano says, I trust my barber. I don't know what that means, but I'm glad you trust your barber because you need to be able to do that. Because if not, then you are good. See, S. Hooch, I'm not going to say stuff like that because I don't know what happened. So you guys can have your opinions. I don't have a strong opinion on the situation because I wasn't there. So mailbag time. Use hashtag Bears or super chat. Get your questions on the show, and we will answer as many of your questions as we can. And then, again, you can call in and ask me your questions literally over the phone on the call-in app, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. So be sure to join us later for that. 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 Central will be live right after the show here on YouTube. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat, and we'll get to your questions here on mailbag number 1. Before we jump into your questions on today's mailbag, I want to encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button because we do publish daily videos for free. Breaking news coverage, big rumors that are circulating the internet. We go live every single Tuesday, and for major stories as well. Free agency, draft coverage, we do it all here at Bears Now. The road to 50,000 subscribers is underway as we cross 47,000. Daily videos, hit that big red button if you want to join Bears Now. Welcome into Bears Now by Chat Sports. Harrison Graham here, ready and eager to answer all of your questions. So load them up, hashtag Bears or Super Chat, and producer Jack will get them on the screen. Jason Howard, I really enjoyed your draft coverage, bro, in regards to the draft itself. Gets a C from me. I give it a B. I know people didn't love the 2 defensive picks to start. I think they're day 1 starters, so if you get day 1 guys that can start in the second round, I think you're doing a good job. Bears had a lot of needs everywhere. Appreciate you showing some love to the show. But, hey, listen, I understand that people wanted the Bears to do a little bit more offensively, but you can't fix everything overnight. Caden with the question, hashtag Bears. Everyone's still sleeping on Daz Newsome. I like Daz Newsome. I just have not heard this new regime say anything about him. The last regime didn't even have him on the 53-man roster, and I know we like to bash the last regime, but a lot of those coaches have been in the NFL for a while. They at least have some eye for some talent. I think it's up to Daz Newsome to prove to this new regime, hey, I'm worthy of a roster spot. I'm worthy of being a part of this wide receiver unit. Quinn for Defensive Player of the Year. Which rookie lineman has best chance to start and where? Based on what I've seen, Braxton Jones seems to have the most talent, most upside. I'm not sure any of them will start, though, as a rookie, to be honest. I would say one of them has a chance to start at right guard because you don't really have a starting right guard. I don't know which one that would be. I like Zach Thomas a little bit coming out of San Diego State. He's got versatility. Could he start there? Maybe. I'd feel a lot better if they signed a veteran at either right guard or left tackle. Big Boy Nag. Thanks, Nagy. Would you rather sign Julio Jones or OBJ? What a question here. It's a tough one because OBJ is definitely the better player, but I also don't know when he's going to be ready. It sounds like it could be until November coming off that ACL. Julio's injuries have derailed his career, but he's more healthy currently than OBJ is. I'll let you guys decide. Shout out to producer Jack for cooking up this question real quick. Type JJ for Julio Jones. Type OBJ for Odell Beckham Jr. If all things are equal, I'd say OBJ, but all things are not equal. So maybe if you want a guy in week 1, that's Julio Jones. Xavier Javier, Bears thoughts on PhD comment from Scout on Brisker. I honestly missed this, man. Can you explain? Can you send a follow-up comment or question? I may know what you're talking about, but I'm not completely sure. So I need more info. I appreciate the $5 though, and if I don't answer on the show, DM me the story on Twitter or Instagram at @HGramNFL, and I'll answer there because you did send in $5. So I appreciate it. Wolfram37, do you think Poles will try to sign Larry Ogunjobi again? I'd love if we could get a dynamic nose tackle like him. Well, number one, he's not really a nose tackle. He's more of a 3-tack. But if you mean a dynamic defensive tackle, sure. But yeah, I'd be open to it if the medicals check out and they feel like he can play on this D-line. You slide Justin Jones to the other spot, he can give you some 1-tech, then yeah, I'm definitely open to it. Graham Rogers, what do you think about RG3 wanting to mentor Justin Fields? Yeah, we talked about it during our Bears News and Rumors segment on Tuesday. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts. One, I think RG3 is just trying to get back into the NFL, which, hey, I respect the hustle. Two, I think there's worse mentors. I think RG3 was a good resource for Lamar Jackson early in his career with Baltimore. You have Trevor Siemian. You know he's going to be on this football team, barring something unforeseen. Do you want to sign him to the 90-man roster, let him compete, and see if he's worth keeping as a third-string quarterback or as a practice squad quarterback? Maybe. It would have to be a cheap, non-guaranteed deal for me to get on board with that. Speaking of Justin Fields, if you want to get his jersey for just $99.99, there's one place to do it. Chatsports.com/FieldsJersey. Pick one up today, this slick navy Bears Fields jersey. Before you know it, football will be back, and you'll be able to rep QB1. Chatsports.com/FieldsJersey. Get started and go purchase a jersey today. Chris Bedank, what are the best available options at linebacker left? Anthony Hitchens is out there. He's a guy who visited Hallis Hall. I think, I'd be comfortable bringing him in as, one of your second or third linebackers, depending on how they feel about Nick Morrow. He's a guy that's out there. I'm drawing a blank on some other off-ball guys, but he's a name I would keep in mind. Bailey, expecting Kmet to take a step forward this year. How can we get him more involved? Should we get him more involved? I think they should get him more involved. I do expect a step. I thought he took a step last year. Didn't find the end zone, but I think he went from 27, 28 catches to 61. Can he get to 70-plus this year and find the end zone 4 or 5 times? If he can, that'd be a great step. One way to get him more involved is to let him run routes more. The O-line was so bad last year, he had to chip a lot, so – if the O-line plays better, if you add a piece or two there and Kmet's allowed to work the seam a little more, then he should get more opportunities. Benny DeBully, could Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon be a top 3 CB duo one day? I think it's possible. Johnson's shown me a lot already. He's a surefire, starting high-level caliber corner. I wouldn't put him as a lockdown CB1 yet, but I'd say he's like a low-end CB1 at this point in his career, which through 2 years, that's great. Kyler Gordon, I think he has the athletic traits to be very good as well. So, yeah, I think it's very much a possibility, which is why I didn't mind that pick from Ryan Poles. J-Man 3, can the Bears still trade Quinn for next year's third? Sure. if a team comes calling, I think Quinn could be a trade deadline type of trade where, depending on where the Bears are, if a contender comes calling wanting a pass rusher, then you could move Quinn for a day 2 pick next year. Von Miller style to the Rams last year. I could see something like that happening. Sam Russo, he described Brisker as a poor, hungry. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. The former scout, Prescott. That was a weird quote. It's borderline inappropriate, if I'm being honest. I don't think that's why he was fired. I think he was fired because new regimes get rid of old scouts. I mean, that's typically how it works. It was a poorly worded quote. I think he was going for something else and just said it in a weird way, but I don't think that's why he lost his job, but yes, I did see that. Will Darnell Mooney, speaking of receivers, ascend to number 1 wide receiver status this year? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Now, it's pretty clear he's going to be the Bears' number 1 receiver, but I'm talking about when you think in the NFL, like, hey, this guy's a number 1 receiver, this guy, like, is he in that conversation? Is he going to ascend to that level? I think there's a chance he can. Get your votes in, Y for yes or in for no. Grant Nikolai, do any of the UDFAs excite you? The linebacker out of Wisconsin, Sanborn, I think he's got an opportunity to make this roster as your 3rd linebacker. That could be in play. Gosh. Can any of those receivers do anything? Maybe the kid out of Liberty who they gave a few, $15,000 guaranteed to. He's got some good speed. We'll see this weekend, or we'll see how they play at rookie minicamp over the weekend. Matt Nagy, do you believe in Luke Getsy? Curious that you're asking me this, Coach, but I like the type of offense he seems to want to run, which is, his version of the outside zone Shanahan type of offense. But we have to see him call plays in the NFL. We haven't seen him do that yet. So I'm positive about him. I'm optimistic about him. But until we see him out there, it's hard to really know what we're getting. Brian Scotch with a $10 super chat. Appreciate that. O-line is still a big need, and we didn't draft until round 5 or 6. Wide receiver is a big need. We drafted a receiver with raw talent at best. Are we ignoring the elephant in the room? Things aren't better from field yet. Well, I would counter the Velus Jones pick, Brian, is I don't think you're going to see him as a pure receiver. Like, he's not going to be running the full route tree. They're going to use him as a playmaker. Get him the ball in space on quick throws, deep balls, jet sweeps, play him out of the backfield. I think they're going to move him around a lot and, get him the ball in simple ways. I don't think you're going to see him running, a bunch of double moves or something like that, next level routes. But, I hear what you're saying. You still need players on your offensive line and at receiver, but I will pivot and counter with the Velus Jones. I'll also say this. I like that they did draft 4 offensive linemen on day 3. Hey, throw some darts, trade down, get some extra picks. If even one of those guys becomes a starter, that's worth it. Alan Mack, Jadeveon Clowney still free. Would the Bears be a guy we think about? Sign Jadeveon Clowney. I don't think the Bears are going to spend big on someone, and you're going to have to pay at least $10 million a year for him. I don't think the Bears are going to do that. So I don't think Clowney is going to be in play for Chicago. I think going back to Cleveland, going to Kansas City, Tampa, one of these contending teams is probably where he's going to end up. Make sure you guys subscribe to us here on Bears Now by Chat Sports, youtube.com/Bears Now. We will have you guys covered throughout the NFL offseason with more Bears news and rumors, mailbags like this one, live shows every Tuesday. So subscribe and join us for daily videos. You can also join us on Call-In as we are just under 30 minutes away from going live over there. Audio social podcasting app that allows you guys to call in. You can request a call and talk to me, get in the caller queue, Twitter Spaces style if you've ever been on that app, but it's better than that app because it's got a live chat. And honestly, the app is just more user-friendly, both for me as a host and you guys as listeners. Cool thing about Call-In, too, is if you miss the live shows, we'll publish them later as recorded podcasts. It's Twitter Space meets podcast. That's what this app is. We're going to do a live show every week. Today we're doing it in 25 minutes, 5 Eastern, 4 Central Time. Subscribe. The link in the chat is the link to the room for you guys to check out. That's what they call it on Call-In, rooms, and we can hang out and talk some Bears football. I want to interact with you, and if you want to interact with me on more of a personal basis, not just typing questions on YouTube, this is a way I can actually talk with you guys. Had a blast doing it on Saturday. Looking forward to doing it again today. Chatsports.com/BearsCalling is the place to go to subscribe. The link in the chat is going to redirect you to the room where we've got today's show scheduled. Welcome into Bears Now by Chat Sports. Harrison Graham here. On today's show, we are going to take a look at Mel Kiper Jr.'s draft grades for the Chicago Bears. He did his annual grade for all 32 NFL teams. Let's see how the Bears stacked up, according to Mel Kiper. Kiper has the Bears at a B-, and he had a lot of teams in that B-, B- range, the Bears being one of them, as, again, he grades all 32 teams every year. The main theme of why it wasn't, a B, B+, or an A is he felt the Bears missed some opportunities to get Justin Fields some more help, and I understand where he's coming from. The 2 defensive picks to start the draft has been met with some resistance. I have countered that with Ryan Poles has stuck to his board and got 2 quality football players, but let's hear what Mel had to say and break this down a little further. Here's what he had to say at first, saying, quote, "I just didn't love passing up on all the available wideouts and offensive tackles to take defensive backs in the second round. Kyler Gordon should be a rookie starter at corner, while Jaquan Brisker could be the starting strong safety. But why not add some help for Fields? The second-year quarterback is your guy for the long term, right? He doesn't have enough weapons to be even above average." I would counter that by saying, number one, the Bears had needs everywhere, not just on offense. Cornerback was a big need. Strong safety was a need. You filled both of those. I would also counter by saying that Justin Fields can improve without the Bears adding supreme talent. Now, that helps him improve faster in theory, but if the coaching is better, full offseason of Fields working more one-on-one with guys like Darnell Mooney, Byron Pringle, Cole Kmet, you get these full-off TA programs and stuff like that as well. Fields can still improve and play better, even though the Bears aren't adding supreme talent. I would like for them to add another piece or 2 on offense. I'm still hopeful they will in free agency. I will say this, with the 2 premium picks they did have before the 3rd-round pick, which we'll talk about in a moment, this secondary is nice, man. Jalen Johnson has proven to be a good corner through his first 2 years. I think Kyler Gordon is going to be a plug-and-play CB2 as a rookie. Tavon Young can hold it down at nickel. Hopefully he stays healthy. Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker as your safety combo. I think Jackson's going to bounce back, and Brisker, everything I see about this kid, I love. He told both Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus that they found the steal of the draft in himself. He's extremely confident, which I like for my defensive guys as well. This secondary could be very good. You've got good depth, too. Guys who have played real snaps in the NFL at corner behind these guys. Kendall Vilder, who hasn't played great, but as a backup, yeah. Dane Cruikshank, DeAndre Houston Carson, Thomas Graham, Duke Shelley. These guys have played real snaps in the NFL, and they're going to be backups fighting for roster spots. So I think the secondary got retooled very quickly by Ryan Poles, and for that part of it, I think they were good picks, even if they didn't directly help Justin Fields and the offense. What was your grade for the Bears draft as a whole? I gave it a B. I want to know from you guys, A, B, C, D, or F. How did you feel about Ryan Poles' first draft? Now, if you want to go look at my individual Bears draft grades for every single pick, for every single player, and as the team as a whole, I said it was a B, but I explained kind of why in this video. Subscribe to the channel. Go find this video. It's, 2, 3, 4 videos ago. Just look for this thumbnail, and that is where you can watch it. And interact in the comments, both in this video and on that video, whether you agree or disagree with my grades for the Bears in this draft. Now, Mel Kiper went on to talk about the next pick, which was Velus Jones Jr. He said this, quote, "The wideout they did add later on day 2, Velus Jones Jr., is fast, but a little limited. He is one of the oldest prospects in this class. He'll turn 25 early in his rookie season," which, that could be a slight drawback. He'll be 28 by the final year of his contract, but at the same time, 28's not old. If you're considering giving him a second contract, that means it was a good pick, right? Like, if you want to give a rookie a second contract, that means you made a good pick. I've penciled him as wide receiver 3, but I think he's really going to be a jack of all trades, receiver, running back. They'll move him around. I think that'll work out pretty well for Chicago. I expect him to be an immediate contributor. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to have 1,300 all-purpose yards and 10 touchdowns or anything like that, but can he give you 500 receiving yards as a rookie? couple hundred rushing yards perhaps, be a good return man, maybe change a game in that regard as well. I think those are very much milestones that could be in reach for Velus Jones Jr., and you're hoping he can find the end zone a handful of times. So I'm going to set the over-under at 4.5 touchdowns for Velus Jones. Maybe that's a little high, but I want to know, how many touchdowns is he going to have in his rookie season? Over 4.5, or type U for under 4.5, and that includes return touchdowns, rushing, receiving, all combined over or under 4.5 touchdowns. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Call-In app because we're growing over there. Do you want to call me, talk some Bears football with me directly, not just on chat, typing on the computer? Call-In is the way to do it because we're going to do weekly live shows. The link is below to subscribe. We schedule our shows in advance, so when you see that, click the notification bell. It'll remind you when we go live, and you can ask me your questions over the phone, sports radio style, not just, DM me on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. This is your chance to connect with me, my chance to connect with all of you as Bear fans. So subscribe, join us every single week. It won't be an exact day every single week. Sometimes it'll be Tuesday after YouTube Live. Sometimes it'll be another day. Keep in tune with what I'm doing, and I will keep you guys informed. Chatsports.com/BearsCallIn. That link to subscribe will be in the comments and in the description of this video. All right, so Mel Kiper moves ahead to day 3 now. Quote, there's a hole at right tackle, and Chicago took 2 fifth-round flyers on Brandon Jones and Zachary Thomas. Is Poles counting on them to compete to start? That's a lot to ask. I will agree with that. I do like lineman Tyrann Carter as a potential starter down the road after some development time. Again, I just don't see this class helping Fields enough. Listen, the Bears could definitely help Fields more. They could. They could have drafted George Pickens instead of Kyler Gordon. I think Kyler Gordon's a safer pick and has a better chance to contribute right away than George Pickens, but they could have done that. Same with Brisker. They could have gone Sky Moore instead of Brisker or something like that. But, again, the 2 guys they drafted are going to start from day 1, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. So you can't really criticize the pick unless you just want to say Fields is screwed, and I just don't think Fields is going to be screwed. Now, I do want them to do more. If they don't add a right guard between now and week 1, I will be disappointed. I flat out would. We'll see what shakes out at left tackle. If it's Larry Borom or someone else, maybe they're going to give him a chance to earn that job outright. We'll see. We'll see if any of these rookies show something on the offensive line, as they did draft the 4 guys, and Kramer, Carter, Jones, and Thomas. I will say this, to Mel Kiper's point. 1 more wide receiver, 1 more offensive lineman in the starting caliber side, especially for offensive linemen, would be great. That would make me feel a lot better. I think you Bears fans would feel a lot better with that. But we do have to understand that this team had a lot of needs and still has a few needs. I mean, this is not an overnight draft a couple players and this team, has a top 5 roster in the league. That is just not how things sit right now. It's going to take a little bit of time. What is the Bears' bigger need after the draft? Wide receiver, offensive line. Type WR for receiver, type OL for offensive line. I would say for a starting side of things, a starting caliber player, it's O-line. Maybe overall it's receiver, but curious to see where you Bears fans sit after the NFL draft. So Mel Kiper gave it a B- as a draft overall. Again, I think you found 2 instant starters in Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker. I think Velus Jones is going to be a fun player. We'll see how much impact he can have, but I think he's got a chance to really help. Braxton Jones is one of these several offensive linemen. Mel didn't really talk about Dominic Robinson, but I think he's a fun developmental edge rusher out of Miami of Ohio. Curious to see what he brings. Zach Thomas, another one of these linemen. Doug Kramer. Treston Ebner, I think, can be a potential sleeper weapon as a running back / returner. Maybe he's one of your kick returners next to Velus Jones. Could be a possibility, as he did a lot of that at Baylor. Tyrann Carter, another offensive lineman that Kiper actually mentioned as a potential future starter. Elijah Hicks, who, by the way, if you've seen his videos after he got drafted, he's fired up to be a Bear, going from the Golden Bears to the Chicago Bears. And then, hey, you got probably a starting punter in Trenton Gill as well out of North Carolina State, so we can't completely dismiss that either. And Ryan Poles has flat out said this. Can't fix everything in one offseason. He hasn't called it a rebuild, but it is a rebuild in at least some capacity. We have to acknowledge that. And you can rebuild while still competing. You can. So, they're not punting on this season, but, at the end of next offseason, we'll have a better feel for really how this GM operates and how this front office is, because once the Danny Trevathan and Tariq Cohen's dead money hits on June 1st, almost $60 million in dead cap. Thanks, Ryan Pace, for moving all that money down the road. So there you go. There's Mel Kiper's draft grade for the Bears. It's a B-. Subscribe to us on Call In, like we said, weekly live shows, chatsports.com/BearsCallIn. That is the place to subscribe. It's free like YouTube, doesn't cost you a dime. The more we grow over there, the more content we are able to do and the more interaction with all of you. So check us out, chatsports.com/BearsCallIn. Speaking of, we're going to be live here in about 15 minutes on the Call-In app, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central. We'll get the link to that room in the chat for you guys. That way you guys can get ready, get in the queue when we go live, and we can answer all of your questions. So be ready to rock and roll. We'll talk for 30 or 45 minutes about the Bears. I'll answer your questions, and we will go from there. Twitter Spaces meets podcasting. That's what Call-In is all about. Mailbag time. One more mailbag to go. We'll answer your questions for 12, 13 minutes here. Use hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. That's hashtag Bears or Super Chat, and we will answer as many of your questions as we possibly can. So go ahead and get going right now. Welcome in to Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham, ready to answer all of your questions. So load them up, hashtag Bears or Super Chat, and we will answer as many of them as we possibly can. We got Paul Cotton saying, will Velus Jones be wide receiver 3 for us? That's where I've got him penciled in, but again, I think he's going to be more of an overall weapon, not just a pure receiver. But if he's third in receiving on the team and gives you some rushing stats as well, a good returner, I think that would be a great rookie season. Jaxo23, let me take a sip here. What will the Bears get as a grade for the draft, since most of the national media has not talked about the Bears since they are not a contender? I gave it a B. Mel Kiper gave it a B-. I've seen all over the place. I've seen a lot of people like the Bears draft. I've seen some people not so much. The reality is with these grades, we're all projecting. We won't know for a couple years how this draft class is overall, but I think on paper it was above average because I think you found 2 starters with your first 2 picks. Dylan V, what does this mean for Daz Newsome? Velus seems like his replacement. Look, Daz Newsome needs to go into camp with a good attitude and say, hey, I'm here to compete. I'm here to show my worth. I liked him as a punt returner coming out of North Carolina as a speed weapon on offense. Didn't really find his way onto the field much last year, but he's got this full offseason to put the work in. Training camp, see if he can show what he's all about, prove to this new coaching staff what he can do. Sangray Kim, not one draft pick can help Buston this year. Wide receiver group that was atrocious last year is worse. This regime clearly wants an excuse to move on from Buston. Look, I disagree again, Sangray Kim, and we're clearly not going to agree on this at this point in time. But time will tell, and one of us will be right, and one of us will be wrong. B. Bega 18, should the Bears sign Quandale Dingle? I feel like this is a joke. Quandale Dingle. I'm going to look this up. Oh, here he is. I know nothing about him, but... Oh, this is a, I see what you did here. You got me. I see what you did here. Chris Johnson. Dominic Robinson played wide receiver until 2020 before switching to edge. He's 6'4", ran a 4.7. I'm aware of his size and speed. Besides special teams, wouldn't be awesome to see a rotational defensive player as a potential red zone target. Look, listen, we've seen stuff like that in the past. Remember J.J. Watt used to get in on offense in the red zone for the Texans? I think he had like 3 or 4 touchdowns one year as a weapon. You never know, right? These play callers get creative nowadays. So I know Robinson's a great athlete. He's got good size. He's got good speed. So, hey, I'm curious to see what he does. I like the value in the 5th round. Bears Forever saw Bleacher Report's this is a 2023 mock, I think is what you meant to say. And we took Pitt wide receiver Jordan Addison. Do you like him or Jackson Smith and Jigba better? Well, let me first say this. We're live on Tuesday answering your questions, depending on where you're watching this. Jordan Addison has entered the transfer portal, so we'll see where he plays. But just talking about the player itself, and USC, a lot of buzz there. If you're watching this later in the week, maybe he's already there. He had a great year at Pitt. 100 catches, almost 1,600 yards, 17 touchdowns, 16 yards a catch. We've talked about Smith and Jigba a couple times. He is special. Reigns from Rockwall, Texas, which is not too far from where we are in Dallas, Texas. He had 1,600 yards and 9 touchdowns himself, 17 yards a catch, a long of 75. His Rose Bowl against Utah was one of the single greatest receiving performances I have seen in the history of college football. I love both of these guys, and I think both could be top 10 picks next year. And if the Bears get one of them to pair with Darnell Mooney, that would be absolutely fantastic. Now pick a receiver. Type JA for Jordan Addison. Type JSN for Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. I'd probably lean Smith and Jigba because there's at least some overlap with Justin Fields, although he didn't do much as a freshman when Fields was there, but they know each other. Either one's great, though. They're both going to be really good pros. Sangray is back. How about we tank this year and draft Bryce Young? Look, if Justin Fields is flat out terrible this year, and it's not on the personnel around him, it's not on the play calling, if that becomes obvious, then sure, in theory, drafting a quarterback could happen next year. I don't think it's going to. I think they're going to give Fields 2 years because I think they'll be bigger spenders next year. I think Fields is going to grow this year, play much better. But I'll never say never, Sangray Kim. If they're 2-15 and have the number 1 pick, that would obviously throw a wrench into things. Muhammad Omar, how many passing yards do you think Justin Fields will have? I think if you're between 3,500 and 4,000, that's a really good number. Probably closer to 35 with 500 or 600 rushing yards. That'd be a great season if he plays all 17 games. 3,500 passing, 600 rushing, 25-plus total touchdowns in year 2. I think I'd be pretty pumped up about that. Scott Osborne, what are the chances the Bears sign linebacker Hutchinson? I think you mean Hitchens, Anthony Hitchens. I'd say 1 to 2 smoking Jays. I think it's a possibility. He visited Hallis Hall, so I would not rule that out by any stretch of the imagination. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because we publish videos every single day, sometimes multiple videos per day. We've had a ton of big videos recently that you should go check out, including our draft grades, undrafted free agent tracker where we take a look at the players the Bears have signed, plus we broke down Nick Foles getting released, producer Jack in shambles, and some post-NFL draft free agent targets for the Chicago Bears. Check all those videos out and more, youtube.com/BearsNow. We've been plugging out content like crazy over the past couple of weeks. Bailey, what's our record looking like for this year? Well, for one, the schedule comes out May 12th, so I'm curious to see what the week-by-week schedule looks like. We'll, of course, have a video for that. Number 2, without looking at that schedule, I will simply say, is this a 7-10 football team right now? Easier schedule, but, the roster is not ready to contend this year. I like something like that, 7-10, 8-9, maybe a little better, a little worse, somewhere in there. Sam Russo, the Bears signed Jarvis Landry, 2 years, $20 million. Would you accept that? $10 million a year is a little high for him at this point, but I'd probably get on board because I think he'd help Justin Fields. He's a good player still. He's not explosive. He's not one of these deep threat guys, but all your other receivers have good speed, so maybe you just need a guy who can work the underneath and intermediate routes. Michael Anderson, should we trade a first-round pick for Debo, or should we take a chance on Jarvis Landry? Well, they're not going to trade a first for Debo. I think that's pretty clear. So I guess Landry's your other option. Could you get him for like $8 million per year? 10's a little high. Could you get him for 2 years and $16 million, 1 year, $8 million? That would intrigue me. Who's going to win the NFC North in 2022? Type GB if you think it'll be the Green Bay Packers. Again. Type CHI if you think it'll be the Chicago Bears. Type MIN if you think it'll be the Minnesota Vikings. Or type DET if you think it's going to be the Detroit Lions. Ian Mitchell, sign OBJ. He will help us. I don't know when he's going to be healthy. If he's going to be ready to go by October, I would be on board. But if it's November or later, does it really make sense to sign him? Not sure. DC Viper, will the 2023 draft be the best draft for Chicago, or do you think they will find a way to mess it up? Their track record speaks for itself. We'll see, right? New regime. So we can't really sit here and say Ryan Poles has a track record of screwing it up because it's way too early to determine if he has screwed anything up. But, yeah, over time there's certainly been some hits, some misses. That's true with all teams, but some teams have done better than others. We'll see how the Bears stack up in the draft next year. Sager Galani, Pickens, and Dean were right there, SMH. Dean has medical issues. I think the Bears made it clear in the draft they didn't value linebacker in the draft. Pickens was there, but, maybe they had concerns about his rumored red flags. They stuck to their board. I think that's what they did. Emilio De Leon, glad we fixed the secondary. If we didn't, Fields would have to drop 30-plus a game to keep up and always play from behind. That's the thing, guys. The Bears gave up the most passing touchdowns last year. Their secondary needed work. You signed Tavon Young. I think he'll start at nickel. You drafted Jaquan Brisker and Kyle Gordon. They're both going to start. That's 3 new starters that the Bears have added on defense. So, you couldn't just ignore the secondary like Ryan Pace did last year when he cut Kyle Fuller and did nothing to replace him. The Bears have actually replaced him now, finally. Aaron Shumleffel, do you think we have interest in Fisher for the offensive line? I'd like to hope so. He remains unsigned. He was okay last year. Gave up 8 sacks. That's a high number. But it was his first season off the Achilles. So I think we have to acknowledge that. I think he will be better this year. Coming off, a full year removed from that Achilles, I think he'd probably be a better option than Larry Borom. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Bears feel differently. Couple more here. Sengray Kim, why didn't we sign Justin Ross? The Chiefs stole him. I don't know. You'd have to ask Ryan Poles. But, the Chiefs were able to bring him. He's obviously also got medical concerns, and he's pretty slow, and the Bears don't want slow receivers. Follow me on Instagram. It's at HGramNFL, at HGramNFL. And then we've got one more super chat to get to end this mailbag. But if you didn't get your question answered on the show, you can DM me at HGramNFL. I'm always posting about the Bears on a daily basis. Jaxo23, I think the Bears will win the division because the national media has said this division is weak and not competitive, and the other divisions have more competition. They might win the division. I'd be surprised, but I do think the Packers have gotten worse. We'll see if the Bears can stack up with them in Minnesota. All right, folks. Here in a couple minutes, we are going to go live here on the call-in app, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. That's chatsports.com/BearsCallin. I'm going to activate the live room here in a couple minutes, but I want to put the link in the live chat so you guys can get on over there and get ready to go. What is Callin, you ask? It's basically Twitter Spaces meets podcasting. It's an audio social podcasting app that allows you to enter the caller queue. You can request to talk to me, and it's my chance to answer your questions, and it's your chance to ask me your questions. So your chance to call in, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. That is the place to go to subscribe. And then we also have a link in the live chat for the room that we will get to momentarily as well. We're not going to start this timer just yet, Jack. We're going to get some people over there. I'm about to start this show here in just a second. I'll wait till 4 just to be consistent here. Get a comment driver going real quick, Jack, in the live chat while we wait until 4 o'clock, and then I will start this thing here in just a few moments, but see what you guys are thinking in the live chat. Who would you rather draft next year at receiver? Type JA for Jordan Addison, type JSN for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Curious where you guys stack up on this one. Which receiver would you rather draft? I'll get some shout-outs here. Chris says Jordan Addison. Let's see. Jackson Smith and Jigba from Malcolm. Alan Max says Jackson Smith and Jigba. We've got Sebastian saying JSN. Where Goes One says JSN. Kyle as well. We've got Jaxo saying Jackson Smith and Jigba. Jock says that as well. Octane going with Jordan Addison. Either one from Trill. Keyshawn Boot as well. Okay. Donald says Jackson Smith and Jigba. Ken, Emilio going with Smith and Jigba. Andre. Hate that we're already talking about who we're getting next year. Hey, you guys asked about the draft. I'm just asking you guys back at this point in time. We're about to go live on Callin, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. We'll get that link peppered in the live chat here Going to get set up here, and then I will start the call-in room here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys about 5-6 minutes here on YouTube and on Rumble to move over there. Then we're going to sign off on YouTube and on Rumble and go exclusively live on call-in. I will answer all of your questions, your chance to interact with me live on the show. So let me open the app here, and I'm going to go ahead and get this started here in just a second. I'll tell you when to start the timer specifically, Jack, as well. Here we go. Give me a second here. All right, starting the call-in room. And here we go. Getting live on call-in. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know. Let me see something real quick here. Got to turn private off, I think. Chase, you want to come in here real quick for me? If you're on call-in, let me know in the live chat if you guys can hear me. I think it might be on private here. I'm trying to figure out how to flip it off. Okay, I saw private was checked, or maybe it was unchecked. Okay, I think we're good. Can you guys hear me in the live chat? Okay, give me just a second, guys. We're working through some audio issues here. Let me know here, test 1, 2 on call-in. Can you guys hear me? Bear down from the real Nate. Can you hear me, Nate? Testing the audio here on call-in. The real Nate says bear down. Chatsports.com/BearsCallin. Click the link in the live chat here on YouTube and on Rumble. And then, okay, give me a sec. Are you in the queue, James? I don't see him in there. All right, I just invited you, James.
All right, guys. Harrison is getting. We're trying to transition from YouTube over to call-in here, so I'm going to jump on as part of the production team. Keep coming in. Get the live chat rolling. Harrison's going to take questions for 30-plus minutes coming up here. But
for those of you on YouTube, we're going to get over to call-in momentarily. So
if you guys want to start lighting up the chat or getting in the caller queue, we will we'll be rocking here shortly.
On YouTube. Chatsports.com.
I saw Harrison pop up there, but if he's there, just
join us over there. That way you guys can hop into the call-in queue, and we will answer all of your questions. I've muted myself on call-in. You guys can hear my boss, James Yoder, on call-in as he's trying to get things started over there. So click that link in the chat. We're working through the audio difficulties. If we need to just go to this headset, we can do that as well. Let me know. Chatsports.com/BearsCallin. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have to switch to this headset. So I'm going to unplug this here, and we'll be good. We'll be live over there. No worries whatsoever. Jack, why don't you go ahead and start that timer here. For those still watching on YouTube, 5 minutes, and on Rumble, we're going exclusively to call-in. Petey, keep peppering the link in the chat. You guys should be able to hear me. If you're on call-in, you guys stick around, request to talk to me, and we will get you on over there. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We can tell you a little bit more about the call-in app for those of you on YouTube and Rumble saying, I don't know if I want to join in on this or not. And let me know for those of you on call-in if you can hear me, holding my AirPod mic to my mouth here, so you guys should be able to hear me. I think we're good on that front. So for those of you still on YouTube, on Rumble, 4 minutes and counting, audio social podcasting app. What does that mean? This is Twitter Spaces meets podcasting. What does that mean? It's similar while we're live to Twitter Spaces. You guys can hop in the caller queue, request to talk to me or any other host if it's a different show, and we can answer all of your questions. Talking about the Chicago Bears here. If you want to ask me non-Bear stuff, cool, but typically we'll talk about the Bears. Ask me about this past draft. Ask me about free agents they should sign. Ask me about Justin Fields. Whatever it is, it doesn't even have to be a question. You can just give me your thoughts on something. We can talk audio style, or sports radio style, right? That's what I grew up on, calling into my favorite sports radio show and talking with the guys. That's what you guys can do with me. We're going to go live every single week here on Callin, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. That link right there is to subscribe, and we schedule our shows in advance. And this is a note for you guys, too, on Callin right now. Stick it around for us. If you hit the notification bell on a scheduled room, is what they call it on Callin, then you will get notified when we go live. You can also enable your notifications when you download the app. So, fun app. I'm excited to do it. Please subscribe once you hop on to Callin. That way you guys can be a part of our live shows, and hopefully we extend this deal through football season, because I want to do some post-game shows after each and every Bears game. That is my goal. We already have, let's see, we've got 139 subscribers. Can we get to 150 today? 11 more subscribers on Callin. Hit that red button on the Callin app, and we will have you guys covered on a weekly basis over there. I'm excited about this opportunity, excited about this app. I think this is modern-day sports radio. I really think that's what this is. So I am excited to get this thing going. So chatsports.com/BearsCallin. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Rumble, 2 more minutes, and then we're going to sign off over there and be exclusively live on the Callin app. So go ahead and join us over there, because we're signing off on YouTube and on Rumble very, very soon. Just tweeted it out on Twitter, so we're good. So you can join us there as well. So, all right, we're going to take our first call. Let me get my headset on here. You guys on YouTube and Rumble should be able to hear me. So, going to take a call here. Let's go to Timothy, who's going to be first up. Timothy, click that mic icon in the bottom right. That is how you can unmute yourself, and you will get the first word. Go ahead, Timothy. Got to unmute yourself, Timothy. Give you about 5 seconds, and if you're not ready, I'll go to the next caller. All right, he's not ready. Going to go to Tommy. Tommy, unmute yourself in the bottom right, and feel free to ask a question. What's up, Tommy? I got you. Go ahead. Okay. The question he asked, Tommy asked, so people on YouTube and Rumble can hear, he asked why the Bears weren't interested in Justin Ross. Was it the injury or just for other reasons? I'm sure the injury played a big role. Also, he ran like almost a 4.7 40, and this regime wants faster and more explosive players. So I think that's a couple of reasons to why they did not sign him. Also, what's your prediction, Tommy? I like that prediction. I think Sanborn has a good chance. All right, Tommy, we appreciate it. We'll get to the next caller here in just a second. If you're on YouTube or Rumble, we are signing off. Join us on Callin. We'll get the link in there once or twice. On YouTube and Rumble, we are out. We'll see you next week.